Hey SFT, this is Mary, and I'm here to tell you a little bit more about not Win, Flex, and how to actually sign up for to teach a session of Flex, as well as how to sign your students up. So just after the Wednesday meeting that we had, a couple of questions came up, so I thought I'd just really quickly go over some of the Flex information. For staff. So the difference between Flex and Win, besides the fact that Flex is on Thursday, is that Flex is a little bit more open. Win is solely focused on academic remediation, support, and extension. It is only academics, end of story. But Flex has a lot more flexibility because it's focused on one of the three pillars, academic, civic, and SEL. So it's not like you can't do something academic, especially some really cool extensions or reading Shakespearean plays that you don't get to do in class or those types of things, but it's just a little bit more open for everybody. Also, the other big difference is that for Win time, core teachers actually get priority to pull kids, and elective teachers can't touch that. But then what's really nice is on the flip side of that, for Flex, elective teachers get priority and core teachers can't touch that. So anyone who is not a math, social studies, science, or language arts teacher can go ahead and have priority to pull on that day as well. The other difference is that Win is decided within extended teams, so you guys are placing your kids. The students don't really get a lot of choice. There's a possibility depending on how your team does it, but for the most part, you should be placing your students. And then with Flex, though, it's the elective teachers get to pull all of their students whole school, so 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. After that, the core teachers then have to organize the rest of their team, or what is left over of their team. There may be some weeks where not very many 7th graders are pulled, or not very many 8th graders, or not very many 6th graders. Just know that it'll vary from time to time, so those core teachers will really have to pay attention to how many kids they have and where they should place them. Flex is is our chance for students to have choices, which is one of the reasons why we use Sketch. The other reason is that Sketch allows us to pull whole school. So think about Sketch, we use it for full school activities like Expo Day and Flex Days. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to actually get into Sketch. So the first thing that you need to do is you need to actually find that email that Sketch sent you last Friday about the fact that you were an admin for our Flex Days. Once you get into the email, you guys will notice that there are several different ways you can get to the website. One is by a couple of links down below the picture of the rocket. The other is by clicking the green link that says set your password. If you have already been on the website, you need to go ahead and click one of the links down below. If you have not been on the website, you need to click set your password to get started. When you click set your password, it's going to send you to the Sketch website. Obviously, I have already logged in, so my reset link is invalid. But then you'll reset your password, and your username is just your Olathe Schools username without the ending part of the email. Then what you're going to do, if you already have logged into Sketch, I'll cut that part out. If you already have logged into Sketch, what you're going to do is you're going to go down to one of the links down below. I would click Manage Your Event because then it allows you to look directly at your dashboard. You'll type in your username and your password and click Login. Once again, your username is your Olathe Schools username. Then it will take you to your dashboard, and anytime you ever want to get to your dashboard, you need to click this little planet up at the top right hand corner. There are two ways that you can actually add sessions. The first is to click the schedule up above, and the second is to click the sessions on your dashboard. Either way, it'll get you there. You can actually see that there are several people who have already signed up for a session. So I'm going to show you guys now how to sign up or actually create a session. So what you'll do is you'll go ahead and you'll click on this little plus button called Add Sessions. You don't need to worry about importing sessions. That's not something that we're going to use for flex time. Then underneath your add session, you guys are going to first type in your team name. So I've already I will delete these later, but I've already added a couple of different people, but let's just say I'm going to add Mrs. Thomas. And so she's on Team Enthusiasm. And she's going to do a exploration of ancient cultures. I don't know. Okay. And so that's her, like, she's going to do a social studies extension. Okay. And so then you would go to your start time. One thing that's important to remember is that there should be two 40-minute sessions to flex. So you are going to have to create two separate events. Now, if you want to do the same event for both times, that's totally fine. You'll just have different students. So kind of like a rotation. The first session will be from 9:55 to 10:20 a.m. Then you'll click on your venue. Let's say that she wants to, I apologize, Ms. Thomas, I have no idea what your room is. Let's just say her room is 502. And so she's going to add her room because it's not in the pull down menu. So she's going to click add. And then now her venue or her room is updated. Depending on how many kids you have that week, whether or not they're pulled for electives or not, you're going to see, or you're going to fill in your capacity. You could do 20, 25, depending on how many, or more or less, depending on how many kids are left over. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to type in some sort of description about your event. It's kind of like those Expo Day slides. You want to make it fun and something that the kids can understand. Then you'll go down below and you'll actually go ahead and select type. This allows everything to be color coded. So like, for example, team confidence I think is green, team determination is red, and integrity is blue. So there is no enthusiasm. So I'm going to go ahead and create a team enthusiasm by clicking add a new type. So then I go ahead and add it. And now you see it's in my nice little bar. Don't worry about the subtype, and then don't worry about anything down here. Now make sure that when you're finished, you actually click publish, not save as draft, or else the students won't, or you won't be able to see anything. So now you can see that it has officially popped up on our schedule and it's ready to go. Now don't forget, you need to create a second session. So I'm going to go ahead and create a second session, if I can spell, for Mrs. Thomas. And let's say that she still does the same extension, the social studies extension that she did before, except this time it would start at 10:40 in the morning and go until 11:20 because that is the second session. Please make sure that both you and your students actually have two sessions when you sign up. Include your type. Don't forget that because then it is color coded. There you go. And you can see Mrs. Thomas has two sessions and she is ready to roll. I will actually go ahead and delete those. You guys can go ahead or add or edit at any point in time, but if you notice, I can actually add or edit everybody else's as well. So just be careful as you're going through this site that you don't click or edit anybody else's anybody else's session. So here's the deal. The other thing that you will need to do, there's a choice that you and your team need to make. The choice is that you either need to sign your students up on Monday or Friday or Monday, or you can wait for iPad Day to let your students sign up by themselves. However, no matter what, your students need to be signed up by Tuesday, the end of the day, because Flex Day is Thursday, and we need to make sure that we have all the kids signed up and are have a place to go. So if you choose to sign up your students, which is what I would personally recommend for the first time that we do Flex, you're actually going to go click on at the top bar, you're going to click Students. And then what you're going to do is you are going to go ahead and search for your students. So, for example, let's say that, I'm trying to find one of my students. There, I have Olivia Becker. So let's say Olivia is in my homeroom. I'm going to click on her name, and then I'm going to look at her dashboard. If you guys see where it says schedule, she has 0 events. So if you see that the students have a 0 next to their schedule, that means that they have not signed up for anything. So what I'll do is during startup, I'll call Olivia over and I'll say, okay, Olivia, here are the sessions. What session do you want to choose first? So I'll click add session, little plus sign, and it'll come up with a menu. And so what I can do is I can then scroll through the options and she can actually choose herself. Once again, please make sure if she's not being pulled for electives that she chooses her team. So right now there aren't very many team determination choices. So I'm just going to choose team determination and I'm going to hit enroll. Once again, please make sure that they sign up for 2 sessions because there are 2 40-minute parts to Flex. If you make a mistake at all, no big deal. Just in the student schedule, there's a little arrow down at the right, and so you'll click that arrow and then click withdraw, and they're automatically withdrawn from the session. I think that's all that I wanted to show you guys. Please let me or Erin or Pinky know if you guys have any questions. We've done Sketch a lot over the past year or so, and so if you guys need help setting anything up or if this wasn't overly clear, please feel free to ask us questions.